professional. You have a good career.
Nice.
Is
Quote unquote.
but is it hard to become a black professional? Maybe my question's a bit,
Yeah.
because it's like, to be honest,
I think it's preparation, where preparation meets opportunity. You know what I mean? So the first thing that has to happen, the preparation has to be done. Like, you have to put in the effort to become qualified at something, right? And once you've done that, even though the opportunities are limited, if you're never prepared, then you're never going to have that opportunity. So you need to first put in the preparation, and then the opportunity more than likely will come. And it's in recognizing also that the world is your playground, that you're not limited to Montreal or Quebec or Toronto, or you can go to Jamaica, you can go to St. Vincent and Grenadines, you can go to South Africa, you can go to so many places that you can go. So we shouldn't limit ourselves, I think that, but we have to put in the preparation.
Don't expect much of us, but sometimes we don't expect much of ourselves either.
Right.
Why? How? Do you have thoughts on that?
Again, it goes back to that miseducation and lack of knowledge of self. I mean, if you know how great you really are, then it's easy to believe in your greatness as well. It's like, I look at, sometimes some of the businesses that, how business pops up in our community sometimes. Someone opens, like, let's say a hair salon, and it's successful. So oftentimes what happens is that other people say, oh wow, Sasha's able to do that. I can do that. You know what I mean? So then you see a slew of hair salons being opening up at the same time. So it's kind of like that, if you don't really know who you are and what your people have contributed to society, and then you're kind of lost, And I think we have a responsibility as a community to ensure that our young people, that our young men are aware of it, and we haven't done a great job of that. So if you ask youth, go out there, take your camera, interview, find out what they know about themselves, about their community, about their history, about how great they really are. And if they don't know, then it's hard for them to aspire to greatness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's
And it's not just that they don't know. It's a lot of people in the mainstream society don't know either, and we don't do enough to promote it. If you look at what happens in the Jewish community, they do the exact opposite of what we do. And it speaks volumes. You see. If you go to the Jewish General Hospitals, you see how many Jewish doctors there are. It's quite a few. There's a reason why it's called the Jewish General Hospital. You know what I mean? And we can do the same and better.
So what are they doing right exactly? How come they're
reinforcing culture. They're reinforcing their religion. They're reinforcing their belief system, their belief in themselves. They're not running away from it. It seems like we're running away from who we really are, instead of embracing it.
Do you have an idea why we're doing this?
I think it's miseducation. We've been educated to think otherwise. I think a lot of the knowledge has been concealed from us. Like, you take, for example, people talk about, like, Matthew DaCosta, and you ask, a black kid who goes to a mainstream school, they don't teach him anything about Matthew DaCosta.
Who is Matthew DaCosta?
He was a translator for Samuel de Champlain. So when Champlain came over, he was the guy. I believe he might have been a navigator too. So
you've never heard that name?
There you go. That's just one example. So you imagine you send your kids to school. He learns about Samuel de Champlain. He doesn't learn about Matthew DaCosta, right? If you learned about Matthew Acosta, it might say, oh wow, I could be a translator, or I could be an explorer. And it speaks to your position and your influence that you've had on the society that you live in. But if you don't see that, it's a form of miseducation. It's to keep you oppressed. Right? So we have to do a good job of bringing those, of highlighting those things, you know?
So it's on us.
Well, I mean, we can't wait around for someone else to do it, you know what I mean? Like, I have children, so I'm not waiting around for the school system to change. That's going to take too long. We need to petition and fight and to try to influence that change. But at the same time, we have to take care of our own. You mentioned before, you go to Dawson and there's a Chinese school happening. They're not waiting around. You know what I mean? Because they know more than likely it's not going to happen. You know, there's too much energy to expend. You know, you're better off using that energy and focusing on that we. I am because we are, you know, and building that we, reinforcing that we, so that the I, the individuals that come out of that, is connected, and that we is strong, so the individual becomes strong as well. I think that's our biggest challenge.